So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am Teri Allison. I am a certified TLS coach. I am a certified personal trainer. I am a grandmother of a 5-month-old baby. I love her dearly. I have 2 adoring children myself, and I love helping people. I love the idea of the resistance training. Melissa we were joking, actually. I think it started out as, and somehow we're here. And anyway, so I'm going to actually read what Melissa sent, because I think it's very valuable, and it'll just set the class up so well. So benefits of using resistance bands. Same muscle activity, less chance of injury, right? So if you're trying to lift weights and you're by yourself and they're too heavy, it's going to be really hard for you to protect yourself, and you could get injured fairly easily. But with a resistance band, it's kind of hard to get injured unless you're doing it improperly or not protecting your back, which we will talk about in a minute. Greater muscle stimulus. So you're actually stimulating your muscles better, so they're more active. Your muscles are, it takes more muscles to use the resistance band because you're pushing and pulling, right? Stabilization of your core and activation. So your core, your back, your abs, all of those are getting used pretty much all the time when you're using a resistance band. Improve strength and athletic performance. More exercise options. Inexpensive. Ideal for rehabilitation. So if you have a knee injury or if you have a shoulder injury, these exercises will actually help rehab you. So like if you can't do squats because you've had knee surgery, or you can't do shoulder presses because you had shoulder issues, there's actually exercises that will help stimulate that rehabilitation. Sorry, I have a cold, I'm fighting. And then stretching and mobility. So you can stretch with these, and even just using them will help you stretch your muscles. And you'll see, if you've never used one, how we're going to do that. So the benefits of using resistance bands. Sure, the gym is full of dumbbells and machines and weights of all kinds, but resistance bands offer many benefits that standard weights can't. Same muscle activity, less chance of injury. According to StanHandConditioningResearch.com, training with resistance bands provides similar and sometimes even greater muscle activity as weight training. One major difference is that it involves a lower amount of force on the joints. So it protects your joints a little bit more than actual weight training. But it's resistance, right? This is also good news for anyone with existing injuries or joint pain, because resistance bands may allow you to continue working out and performing exercises that you can't do with a dumbbell. Can everybody hear me?
I can.
Okay.
I can.
Melissa's like, yes, too loud. Greater muscle stimulus. One major difference between free weights and resistance bands is the variable resistance applied through the full range of motion of an exercise. So you actually, you have the full range of moving instead of when you have a weight, you can only go so far because you don't want to strain your muscles, right? With free weights, there are actually parts of the movement when the muscles aren't performing much work due to lack of gravity, such as the top of a bicep curl, right? There's nothing there, which means, according to Dr. Jim I can't pronounce his last name, Stepani, is that when you're using resistance band, the muscle is receiving greater resistance as its strongest point of the range of motion, and therefore is receiving more adequate resistance to better stimulate strength options. Stabilization and core. So we've kind of talked about this a little bit. Did anybody have any questions about any of the things I mentioned? The stabilization and core, improved strength, more exercise options, inexpensive, ideal for rehab. I think we've covered it all, but this is a really good read. So if you haven't read through this, go ahead and read it. Not now, but later. Because we're going to go ahead and get started. One of the things that is very important when you start an exercise program is to consult your doctor. I'm going to stand up, Melise. So we're actually going to do a little warm up, and you want to warm up 5-10 minutes at least 5, minimum of 5. 10 to 15 is preferable. So we're just going to do a quick little warm up. You want to get your arms moving, and you just want to get your blood pumping, because we are going to do some exercises today, right? So you just want to get a good, hey, Marilyn, get off your chair. Get up. Come on. Who else do we have? Renee. There you go. I want to see you moving. And then you can do a little side step, right? Put on some good music, do some side step, get your blood pumping. But again, you always want to consult with your doctor before you're starting a rigorous exercise program. Obviously today you can still do the exercises because we're not going to do a full program. We're just going to do 1 or 2 of each exercise. Feel free to stop me if you have any questions. Melissa's going to be checking the chat, and she's available if I can't hear you talking, or raise your hand. I forgot they've got the raise your hand. So feel free to raise your hand option. Take 2 steps to the right, 2 steps to the left. Again, keep those arms swinging. Everybody feeling warm and pumped? Except Marilyn. We're not here to judge. We're here to love. All right. So, again, normally we would warm up a little bit longer. On a bike, you can do some of these. This also will help stretch out your low back, right? So we're just getting a little warmed up. One of the things you always want to do is start with your biggest muscles. So we're going to go ahead and grab your band. This is our Mark in America band that we were given for conference. They added a whole exercise program thing. It was so awesome. Glad to finally see it. I can't wait till they come out with a journal, which actually I talked to Dennis Franks about when he was here. So this is the blue one that we're going to be using, but I also wanted to bring this one up. Excuse me. This one is actually cloth. It's elastic, and it stays on your hips and your legs better. It's easier to keep on there, and there's more resistance in this one. This one's, they all come different colors, and you'll notice they're different resistance. So they're all, like if you get a pack of these, they'll come typically red, yellow, green, and blue, and they're all like a different strength. So you want to, I keep forgetting to look at you. So you want to keep going up as you, when you do any kind of training, when you feel like you're ready for progression, then you just want to move up to the next band, if that makes sense. But I really like these. Not that I don't like this, but these kind of slide sometimes. So these are really nice. So I'm going to put this on my legs. If you have bad knees, this one might be a little difficult for you. When you do a squat, we're going to do some squats. When you do a squat, you want to push your butt out. Can you get back down to my feet? Mm-hmm. And your feet, you want to kind of almost tip your toes up just a little bit because you want to squat down, right, and up. But you want to push your butt back, and your knees, you want to keep in line with your shins. You don't want them to go over your toes. This is poor form. And this is why people say I can't do squats, because they do them like this instead of like this. So stick that butt out, booty out, booty out, booty out, and down, and up, and down. And what that resistance does is it's going to make you work harder with the band on you, right? Chest up and butt out. So try and keep your chest. There you go, Carol. Good job. All right. Good. And we're not going to do a whole,
series
of them or
repetition.
Normally you do like 10 to 12 reps, and then you'd rest a second, and then do 3 of those groupings of of reps, right? Another thing you can do is when you're warming up. That's what I like about the cloth ones. But you can put it down a little bit further. Never on your knees, never on your joints, period. You don't want to put it on your joints. You want to put it above or below your joints. But this will give you a little resistance, right, for your hips, hip flexors. And again, these slide up, so you got to keep bringing them down a little bit. So this is a good one. All right. And then we're going to get down on our knees because we have another big muscle in our leg area called the gluteus maximus. And I have a very maximus gluteus. So we're just going to put the band around. I'm just going to do my left knee. So whatever knee you have forward, you're going to do the opposite foot. Okay, so my left knee. And you want to do it below your knee because you're going to put your foot in the band and kick back. Should have done it with my other one. This is my bad. Hamstring. Feel that? If you cannot put it on your knee, you can put it on your other foot and just do it on your other foot. And if you notice, while you're doing it, the different angles will give you a different workout. So if you're here, you're going to get a different workout than if you're here, right? You feel the difference?
Awesome.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so another one we can do is bring it up on your, under your knees and do a side lift. So you're going to get your hip flex, not your hip flexor, this part of your butt, this part of your glute. Can you see? Called a fire hydrant. Everybody doing it? Nice. Good job. All right. So we're going to turn, oh, well, let's see, hamstrings. Oh, yeah, I can't do that. Going to make a bridge. And we can do your whoop, in and go down here. Inner and outer thighs. And when you do this one, you want to make sure that you are under your knee, right? And that your feet are a little bit. So you don't want them parallel. You want them out just a little bit. So that's going to get your glutes, and it's going to get the inner and outer thighs, or the outer thighs as you push out. Another thing you want to do is you can hold. So hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bring it in. Just another way of doing them. Whatever you prefer. Keep your butt tight, abs tight, and keep your hips up, right? So you don't want to drop your hips. You want to keep them up high. All right? So that's your outer thigh. And you can also do them this way for your outer thigh. Or your outer glute and thigh, yeah.
Way to go, Deborah and Carol.
And then you can also turn your hip, or well, we'll do it this way. Be easier. So you can put your legs straight, parallel, right? And lift up. Oh, that one doesn't work well. This band. Right, so you're getting resistance here. If it's not enough resistance, you can wrap it around your foot. Right, to make more resistance. Doesn't have to go far. For your quads, we're going to be one-sided. All these exercises we're doing on one side.
They can do the other side
They
after
can do
class.
the other side after class. All right.
You are doing awesome, Teri. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions about any of those exercises? The other thing you can do is if you have a chair or a table that's secure and going to stay in place, you can use that for a resistance as well. Oh, we did our outer thigh, but not our inner thigh. That's not going to be, it's going to be too.
If you want to use the other band, you can.
Yeah, no, that's all right. What we should have done too before is stretch, and you can use these for stretching as well. You know, you can do.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
But it's nice. This is a great way to stretch because you don't have to. You can get your flexibility going on your legs. You don't have to bring your body down, which adds more strain to your low back if you're not doing it properly. And you can do this laying down. You don't have to sit up. You can lay down and do it as well. Do we have any questions about any of those?
The inner thighs.
The inner thighs, I'm trying to figure out. You can.
That's right. Yep.
That would be outer.
Would you pull it against a table leg or?
This way. You could do it this way. No, that's going to get your outer thigh. Let's see.
There we go.
Yeah, so the resistance would be down that way.
Oh.
Gotcha.
You can always just play around with it, you know, to what feels good and where you feel like you're working, because you are. You know. So that one of the things is when your muscles are being used the most is when you want to breathe in, right? So you're breathing in when you're on the up, and then you would exhale on the way down, right? And you're gonna want to go slower on the way down and then slow on the way up as well. So fast on the way down. I'm sorry, fast on the way down, slow on the way up. So you want that where the resistance is. When you feel the most resistance, is where you want to come up.
Welcome, Nucci.
Hi, Nooch. Stretching is important, and after your warm up, it's a good idea to stretch. And I apologize for not having you do that, but yes, warm up, then stretch, then bands. So your next, we did your legs, we did your glutes. So the next muscle would be chest.
Oh, Doris is on camera now. Yay!
Yay! Hi, Doris. So chest.
Finally, I was working at Sweat Trouble.
You had trouble with the band, with the computer? I know. So just simply, and if you hold it, you don't have to hold it at the very end. You won't get as much resistance. So the closer you hold it, the more resistance you're going to get. So wherever works for you. So this is going to be a push-pull. So you're actually going to work your back and your chest. So in the back, you're pulling. I don't know if you can even see my muscles anymore. I'm so out of shape right now. And in the back, you're going to pull with your back, right? And you're also working the outer chest.
Woo! Man, you can feel that.
Yeah? Good. And then if you have a longer band, some of them you can buy bands that are not connected, and you can actually put it around your back, right? So you would put it around your back and do it this way. And that will give you a chest press. Well, you could do this. Maybe. Oh, it's pretty small. But some of them aren't a circle. They're just a straight band. And with that, you could, like I said, you could do a chest press. So that's going to get more of your chest. And then the higher you put your hands, right? So if you push your hands here, it's going to work more of your top chest. If you push your hands down, it's going to work more of your lower chest. So that's if you have a band, and you could do that laying down. That would keep the band in place. Or put it under if you have a step. If you do step aerobics kind of step. Yeah, there you go, Carol. Perfect. Demonstrate, please.
If Carol could unmute so the camera will go to her.
Oh, Carol, if you unmute, the camera will go to you.
Okay, so what? Straight out.
Straight out. Right? Looks like you might. Oh, yeah, you're getting some resistance. There you go.
Straight up.
Good.
Oh.
If you go up, you feel it more in your upper chest?
I feel it in my arms.
In your arms? Okay. Yeah, you're going to. And that's what they were saying in the thing is you're utilizing more of your muscles.
Now I feel it in my chest. If I pretend I'm doing
the way you hold your hands. Yeah. And
like
you always want to think about the muscle when you're doing any kind of training, whether you're doing push-ups, whether you're doing tricep dips, whatever you're doing, you always want to focus on that muscle and push with that muscle, right? So you actually visualize yourself pushing with that muscle and flexing that muscle. Does that make sense? So like when you're flexing your arm, think about flexing that muscle and making that muscle big, not just moving your arm, right? Tighten that muscle. Same thing with your chest. You're going to tighten that chest, right?
Yeah.
Tighten. Okay.
Welcome, Gayleen.
Hi, Gayleen. Thanks for joining. All right, so your chest and then your back, right? Because your back is, we're getting the back when we're doing the pulls. But another way to do your back is bend over and just pull. And this one you can Wherever your resistance level is, you can put it on your under your foot, and you're going to pull back. And you want to keep your elbow close to your. Is it better if I do it that way? So you can look at my boot tie. Right. So you're pulling straight back. You're keeping your body forward. So your body is straight forward. Your shoulders should be in line with the floor, and then pull straight back.
Patrick goes low on it right there. That's an illegal low block at JP.
Nice, Doris.
On the Steelers, right?
Perfect. Good job, Nucci. Put your right shoulder a little bit forward.
Who are you talking to?
Nucci. There you go. Square off to the floor. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Yep. Perfect, Carol. Good job, Deborah. Perfect. Deborah, you want to come up a little bit further with your arm. So you're working your lats. This is the muscle you're focusing on right here. So you want to pull with that lat. And then you can do the other side.
You need to fire your cameraman.
Everybody's gonna throw up. Being dizzy. All right, so we did chest. I should just stop it at each exercise and or each muscle group and see if there's any questions, huh? Does anybody have any questions about any of those exercises?
Okay, so I noticed that my lower back is
Your lower back what?
sore now from doing that. So what am I doing wrong?
So let me see. Do it facing forward.
Let's see if I can get this down. One more.
Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let me see from this side. You have perfect form, Carol.
Okay.
So it's just that you're using your core, and does it hurt?
No, not hurt. It's just feeling
Okay.
sore already. Like,
Yes, that's because you're not using those muscles. So, and now you are. So tomorrow you might be a little sore, so I would use that foam roller that you said you had on your low back. I didn't mean to second, but there you go. Does anybody else have questions?
No, but I'm taking notes.
Good, and if you have questions, feel free to reach out.
Renee, why don't you unmute? Can you ask a question? She says 1 minute. Nucci, you're next. What question do you have? And we'll come back to Renee.
I have a question. My question is there an resistance band exercise that helps with abs?
Oh, good question. That's a good question. Well, yeah, you could you could just wrap it around your legs and your body, and
can you put it on your toes and
yes, you could.
pull?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pushing. So if you were to do like a resistance here, that's gonna get your core.
Oh, that's good, Terry. That's like
Yeah.
doing V-ups, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
Go,
have to do that.
Terry. Go, Terry.
That's good. Woo!
Do one leg. Yeah. Good question.
I'm gonna have to do that now. Yeah, I'm gonna do that tonight. Thank
Mhm.
you.
You're welcome. But remember when you're doing all of these exercises, like Carol was asking about her low back. Now, one thing I didn't ask, Carol, were you keeping your abs tight when you were doing it?
No.
Yes. So that's another thing is that could cause your back to be sore is that you're using your back instead of your core, right? Well, your back is your core, but your abs. So, and one of the reasons this is so important, especially as we get older, is that when we lose that core strength, we lose our balance. So we start falling more, and we start. Carol is the queen of falling. If you don't know Carol, she's the queen of clumsy. But no, we love Carol. But no, it's true. So I trained clients that were, my oldest client was 90 years old, and she was so adorable, but she was having trouble with her balance. So we actually had her on a foam pad, and just standing on one leg on the foam pad, and it makes you use your ankles, it makes you use your core to stand up straight. So those things are really important, and standing on one leg is really important, and all of us should be doing that at least once a day, right? Just standing on one leg and engaging our whole core. Did somebody just type something in the...
Galen said she's the queen of falling.
Okay, then Carol can be the princess.
I'm
And then Renee had a question.
I'm just crashed.
Renee, what was your question? She's gone.
Renee? Okay. Anyone else? There she goes. Unmute.
My question
That is
was,
what-
alternative exercises if your knees are bad and you can't.
So, the butterflies will be good for your inner and outer thigh. One thing that's really important for you is to stretch. Most of the time when you have bad knees, your IT band, which goes from your ankle all the way up your leg into your glute, is tight. So that foam roller that Carol showed you is really vital. I mean, I think everybody should have a foam roller and spend 20 minutes on it a night. It honestly will help with your knees. It will loosen them up. You can do your quads. You can do the side. And I almost brought mine today. That's a whole nother show. We did that one night. We did a foam roller, remember? But the foam rolling is just a lifesaver. But what I recommend is, and you can do this with the band, but find a chair. This is probably not the best chair to use because it's a cushion, but just put the band on and just stand up and sit down and stand up and sit down, right? But make sure that your knees are not under your toes. Can you see my feet? So can you see how, so you don't want them, oh, that didn't help.
No.
So you don't want when you stand up, and this is a good habit to get into as we get older and our knees start getting worse and we see our joints start getting, aging, right? First of all, take collagen. Second of all, just being aware of what's happening with our body at all times. So you want to be aware of how you're moving, how you're getting up. My mom is 91, and she is a fast mover. She moves. It's like, Mom, you have to slow down, because she gets dizzy when she doesn't. And so we have to remind her, stop, then turn. But those are things that we have to start paying attention to. But go ahead and show my feet. So this is where you want your legs to be when you're getting up, right? Because if they're back here, if your feet are back here and your knees are here, you're putting pressure on your knees. So if you're finding that when you're getting up, you have pressure here on the top of your knees, put your feet out a little bit before you stand up, and then stand up. You know, even if you have to use your hands on your knees to push yourself up, that's okay. Then you're doing arm exercises too, right? But that's where I would start with those. Or if you have a ball, Renee, balls are amazing. And same thing. You can use your ball and just stand up. Sorry, I should look at you. I keep forgetting.
It's okay.
Just standing up and sitting down on your ball will help strengthen those knees. Any other questions? Go, Deborah. Go, Deborah. Get your hydrant on. So keeping your core tight, keeping your body in line. So you want to make sure you're not lifting your head if you're doing something like this. You don't want to be stretched. You don't want to be down. You want to make sure that your body's in line. Your body's in line with your head's in line with your spine. Just keep everything straight. All right, we're ready to move on? Yes, no, maybe so?
Yes.
And nobody has any questions about anything? Yes, you do have questions, Carol? Go ahead and unmute and ask.
No, I just noticed Gayleen has one
Oh,
in the chat. What about
What
your
is-
sciatic? Is acting up?
sciatica?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking, Kayleen? Oh, my nose is itching.
Says if it's acting up and going all the way down the leg to the ankle, coming from the
Yeah, you need to strengthen your core. You could have something pinched in there. I don't know. But strengthening your core will help relieve your sciatica of your low back from having to work so hard. And you're leaning forward a lot probably, Gayleen, yeah? With your sewing. So you're leaning forward. So honestly, before you start working on anything in the morning or whenever you're gonna sew, I would warm up. I mean, it sounds silly, but take a walk. Do some. You weren't here for the warm up. We just did some little side steps back and forth and some walking in place. That'll help warm up your muscles and that'll help loosen up your low back, which is what's coming from your sciatica. Also, that foam roller that Carol had, rolling your glutes and your IT band will also help loosen up your sciatica.
Gayleen, I do some stretching in the morning for my sciatica too, because I'm sitting for long hours in a day. And I sometimes have that pain from my rear to my knees. And so I actually lay down and pull my legs forward one at a time or both of them at the same time.
You know what she's saying, Kayleen? So you're going to pull them here or here, whatever's most comfortable?
Yeah, or one leg, right, Teri? One leg up, one leg down.
One
yeah,
leg up, one leg.
Yeah.
Now,
Or cross it
sometimes
over.
the one thing you want to do when you're doing this is you want to push. I'll do it this way. You want to push your low back into the mat. You don't want to arch your back when you're doing this, right? Because you have a tendency. Well, I do because I have a big old booty, but it tends to arch your back. See all this room here? So you want to make sure that you push your back. And this is actually an awesome stretch and exercise to do, is just simply laying down and pushing your low back into the mat.
Mm-hmm. And Teri, show her the one where you cross your foot over your knee and pull up. No, the other way. Pull your other leg up and then like that. So that helps.
You're here. You cross your right foot over your left thigh. Reach under your left thigh and pull. And it stretches here. It stretches here. And if you can't do this, there's other ways of doing it. You can just do it here and pushing against your leg that's up, and then you obviously want to switch. But these are all awesome exercises or stretches.
Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking.
I do that with my resistance band.
You do. Oh, good call. So you do this with your resistance band?
Yeah, because it's harder sometimes to get it underneath the leg there, right?
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you for showing that. Well,
Absolutely.
I dropped the camera.
Woo!
So the reason why I'm not in my exercise spot is I'm trying to be cameraman and I'm not very good.
She's doing a great job. Anybody else have questions? I'm looking over there instead of here. My hamstring still hasn't recovered. It's May. All right, moving on. Biceps. So biceps. Oh, that's not gonna work. I have more bands than this. So you're gonna strap your band around your knee and pull up. And feel how there's always resistance in the band. That's what they were saying about the difference between using weights and using a resistance band is there's always resistance, right? Even when you're down. So at the top of your peak point of resistance, and then even at the low point of your resistance. So that's one of the benefits. Now the other thing you can do is do different angles. So before I was doing it here, and then you can move it to here, right? And if you can't do it under the knee, if your band's too tight, you can, again, put it under something else. This isn't enough resistance, but you can figure out a way to do where you do have the resistance. One thing you want to be careful about is angles. So just keep an eye. If it starts if it's painful, there's a difference between painful and working, right? So if it's painful and it actually hurts, you're probably doing it wrong. If it's, okay, I'm exhausted, sore, it hurts, then it's a totally different thing, right? Because there's no pain, no gain is not true, but you will obviously feel a little pain because it's working something you haven't done before. The other thing is triceps. So those little flabby chicken arms, right? You can, oh, this is really tight to do those. Just resistance here, right? So you're getting that tricep. And whatever, just hold it where you need to hold it to get the resistance that you need. But you want to keep your elbow tight to your body. That's probably the best angle, huh?
That's a great angle.
Keep your elbow tight to your body and just don't swing it, right? You're not moving it this way. You're only moving your forearm, right? So keep your wrist straight and stretch your forearm out. Does that make sense? Forearm to the ground, fist to the ground, however you want to say it. Another way you can do your triceps, and it's good to do different exercises for the same muscles. So, like we did the for the lats, which is this muscle here. We did the ones that were on the foot here, right? There you go. So we did those. You could also do those in a row. I didn't think about that. You can also do them here, right? and again, however much resistance you want. You can do them here. So it's going to get a different angle of your back, right? You're getting more of your back here and your scapula area, right? So your rhomboids, which is really important. And the other thing is, like we said, you can do a hold, 2, 3, 4, and out and hold, 2, 3, 4, right? You're going to get more resistance when you hold. Where was I? Oh, triceps. Sorry, I got way late because I forgot to tell you guys about the other one. So this one would be a tricep extension here, right? Keep your elbow next to your ear. Can you hear me? Sorry. Keep your elbow next to your ear and straighten. And I'll turn and demonstrate the same exercise. So you want to keep your elbow forward. And it pulls your hair. So much fun. And those will work those chicken wings. Chicken skin. Let's see, we did biceps, triceps, shoulders. Shoulders. So you can come down, right? Can't do this one very well because my shoulder's jacked up.
Does it matter how far down we go?
You don't want to go down like crazy down here, because then you're working more of your lats and you can actually do some damage. So you just want to go right behind your head. You want shoulders parallel, basically. And again, abs tight during all and any of these. I'm sorry, I have actually a bad shoulder. I can't do those very well. Another way you could do a shoulder press is to push it up, right?
Oh, wow.
That one won't work that way. It's a really tight band. So you could do it here, I guess, yeah. Okay, perfect. That's gonna get some of your arm, right? So you feel it in your shoulder, in your arm. Yeah, that works. Shoulder press. There you go. Good job, Marlene. All right. Anybody have questions about any of those? Oh, this is another one. This would get your inner and outer shoulder. And then there's one. This one's really cool. I can't do it here because I don't have a wall. But you can actually 1, 2, 3 on the wall. So you actually put your fists on the wall, keep your elbows straight, parallel, right? And go 1, 2, 3. But you have to keep your elbows like this, and that's why you use the wall to keep them parallel. Candlesticks.
Not buckets.
Not buckets. Candlesticks. But speaking of buckets and candlesticks, the way you hold your hands and your arms, like when you're doing an arm exercises, are where you're going to move, where you're going to work your muscles the most. So, like if you're using weights and you do them this way versus this way, you're going to get your upper forearm more when you're up. Just the different. You can feel it. You can do candlesticks versus this way, and you're going to get more of the upper, the top muscles, where when you're doing this one, you're going to get the front, I guess the side. We have 5 minutes, so I recommend you doing the other side or doing a whole program or whatever you want to do. It's a good idea to say do your upper body one day, your lower body the next, or pick like a push-pull. So anything you're going to push, so like your chest, your squats, what else is a push? Your shoulders, anything that's a push motion, do one day, and then the pulls do the next day. So like your lat pulls, you do your legs all in one day. But that's another way of working out. But always stretch.
After warm up.
After warm up. Yeah, and really you should stretch again when you're done working out. It'll help your recovery so much. And the foam rollers are just amazing. If you have questions about the foam rollers, let me know. Yeah, Marilyn.
How many reps do you recommend starting out with? 5?
I recommend actually 8 is good.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you can't do 8, that's okay. If 5 is all you can do, you're doing something, which is more important than doing nothing, right?
Yes.
So if that's all you can do, do 5. And then try and do 3 reps, right? 3 sets, of 5. 5 would be your rep. Sets would be, you do 3 sets of 5. That's the best way to start. And then when you feel like, oh, I could probably do 3 more, that's when you would go to another band, or maybe tighten it a little bit. If you're down here, go, oh, I think today I can move up, or like I said, or move on to a different band.
Okay.
Or weights, if you're doing weights.
So
Thank
next
you.
week is journal.
I'm going to throw out next week, we're working on the journal. We're going to go over the journal in class. So we would love to have you join us in the value and importance of journaling, because it's important, especially your exercise. Actually, journaling your food's really important. All right, any questions?
And for attending, they get a free
Sample?
sample.
Oh, for attending class today, you get a free sample. Let us know what you want in the chat, or
There's a link that said, what sample do you want? It's a form to fill out.
so go fill out the form and let us know what sample you want.